Hey, Coach. Given this division, for 4 straight years the Saints won it. You're going for your third straight. Can you put in perspective how hard it is to dominate that, and just how it always seems to come down between the Bucks and New Orleans the last decade or so?
Well, it's definitely been hard to dominate any division, but in our division, it's the Saints have been running it for quite a while. We won a couple games. We won it the last 2 years. Trying to win it the third year, but it's always going to be tough sledding when you're in the division going for the title at the end.
No doubt. And I just want to ask you about Baker Mayfield, and obviously what Tom Brady has done is well documented, his greatest of all time. But because you were going to have a younger team, because you didn't have the salary cap room, and you're going to, play guys that were younger, is he sort of relatable in a way that he's not that far removed from being drafted himself, and does that help him lead this team, just this what he's been through in the youth that he has?
I think he's relatable because he's different, and I think we have a different team, and I think we needed to go a different way, and it's
Right.
worked out for us. And the attitude that he brought in, I think, will be infectious on a young or an older team. I think that's just who he is. So
Yeah.
that part is not that big of a deal, but the leadership he's shown and the way we've tried to change the team around has been outstanding because you have guys that he leads the veterans as well. He sits with the
Yeah.
offense and the defense, and he really brought camaraderie and chemistry together in the off season as well as summer training camp to have these guys on the same page. So when we hit hard times, we wouldn't panic.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll go to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach, Merry Christmas. Appreciate you doing this.
Merry Christmas.
When you go back and watch the tape, you guys were definitely getting to the quarterback. What did you notice from a pressure standpoint that allowed your team to get to the quarterback this go around versus say what we saw against the Packers?
Well, we put in some things that we thought we could kind of use that kind of helped us out during the game, and then getting up in the score usually doesn't happen for us. We usually fighting tooth and nail. When we get up and get ahead, we can be even more aggressive. So that allowed us to take advantage of some things.
We'll go to JC Allen. If any media have questions, please raise your hand.
Hey, Coach. Merry Christmas. How you doing?
Merry Christmas.
Hey, I just wanted to ask you about the progression of D Delaney. He comes in here 3 years ago as an undrafted free agent, long shot to make the team, and then you see him just making big plays and being a guy you can rely on and depend on. Just can you talk about his impact in the game yesterday and just the progression that he's had since he's joined the team?
He's been a hard worker, but I think he's settled in and getting the scheme down. He has to learn corner, nickel, both safety spots. He's kind of our utility guy back there. And then he became a playmaker and understanding what he needed to do in the scheme. And that's kind of helped him move along and as well as play special teams. He's a jack of all trades for us. He's a very good Swiss Army knife, and he comes in and if he's anywhere near the ball, he's going to make plays. I don't think he had a chance to make too many yesterday, maybe a tackle or two here or there, but he's very reliable. The guys count on him back there, and you know where he's going to be.
And then, just can you just talk about you tell the players ignore the noise, right? Don't focus on what the outside is saying. But, you guys had a bit of a streak there, a losing streak in the middle of the season. And there are reports that maybe you're on the hot seat. Maybe, you're coaching for your job. Did you feel like that at any point in this season? And, especially now with this 4-game win streak, do you pay attention to that? Do you hear that? Do you feel that from ownership in the building that, you guys need to have a successful season to maintain your job?
I've been coaching a long time. I coach the same way, losing streak or winning streak.
We'll go to Scott Smith.
Uh, Coach, Zion McCollum stepped in again yesterday when Carlton got hurt, but before that, we saw him a little bit at what looked like safety. Is this something we're going to see going forward? Because you said you wanted to continue to have him on the field.
Depending on who we play and what the matchups are, he could be anywhere from safety, nickel, corner, or linebacker. So matchups will determine that, or what we think we can and can't do with him will determine that. So not sure at this point in time.
We'll go to Rick Stroud.
Coach, when you drafted Yaya Diaby, I think there was a feeling that he would, develop into a pass rusher, maybe a situational guy. And I know he had guys in front of him. What's enabled him to be what he is today? And he's sitting here with 6.5 sacks, which is already a pretty outstanding rookie year.
When we drafted him, the biggest thing for me is that he was a shutdown run defender and he can close off the edge. And we knew he could run straight ahead. Didn't know that much of the pass rush arsenal that he had because he played inside as a 3 technique at Louisville, but we knew he was very athletic. And once we saw him and when he got in and saw the movements, we said this guy has a chance to be a very good football player. And he's continued to grow and progress. And you're kind of seeing a lot of that right now.
We know that Kalijah was injured early, but more and more as the season went along, we've seen, more of the younger guys take bigger roles, some of them starting roles. Was it a matter of them getting their shot, injuries, or just developing to the point where you knew you could trust them in certain situations?
It was a matter of giving their shot, but we had a lot of young guys make the team, so they were going to be playing no matter what. It's a matter of them settling down in situations and understanding situational football of how to play and when to take advantage of their athleticism and when to play scheme fit defense for our part. And those guys have done a great job at it. They continue to get better and better. You can see the confidence growing in them, and it's growing at the right time.
We'll go to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach, Scott Smith totally took my question about the safety thing, but moving to the offense, Trey Palmer, we saw him getting involved early. He had kind of a quiet mid-season period after starting, the season off with that touchdown against the Vikings. Just kind of what have you seen from him from a progression standpoint?
Trey's been solid. Trey's been very solid. Love the way he blocks. Love the way he works routes inside. You got Mike and Chris getting off pretty good like they did yesterday and last week. You're going to be kind of quiet, but we know where he is. We can count on him. He plays with confidence. He's a very good football player, and we really like him.
Thank you.
We'll go to JC Allen.
Coach, we didn't see David Moore for a while this season, and injuries popped up, and he's had to make plays. Obviously, last week against Green Bay, he made a big play, but a few more big plays this week. Just talk about having that guy in your back pocket and being able to bring him up and him not skipping a beat.
Dave's been a true pro. It's great to have a veteran down there on the practice squad, especially one that's been in the system before that can plug and play right now. He's tough. He's feisty. He's a good teams player, and he has outstanding hands. And he understands the game. I think that helps him play fast as a guy that runs 4.4, and he's been very valuable to us the last 2 weeks especially. So it's good to have.
And Rakim Jarrett working his way off of IR. Do you expect to have him available this week? And if you do you plan on carrying, Dave Moore on the roster as well as Rakim Jarrett too?
We'll continue to progress him, and based off of injuries, whenever the reports come in after Christmas, we'll see how that goes, and we'll monitor it there.
We have time for a few more. We'll go to Rick Stroud.
Todd, I know you preach sticking with it, getting better each week, and a lot of those things, from the podium sound like every coach, right? But when did you see this starting to turn? In other words, the Carolina game was probably tighter than you probably liked. Atlanta came down to the last drive, stopped them at the 3-yard line, and then these last 2 games have just been explosive on both sides of the ball. So was there a time where you felt, whether it was practice or a game, that like, okay, we're starting to get this?
I was encouraged actually during the losing streak, because we were fighting and we were making bonehead plays here and there. And we knew if we cleaned those up, we could win a game by 1 or 2 touchdowns. And we just kept looking at it every week, and we kept with it. And it's okay to correct the guys and coach them and chastise them and all that stuff. But we knew we were close to at least playing solid football if we cleaned those things up. And we seem to clean those things up, and it's kind of working for us right now.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, that's all we have. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Merry Christmas.